how would you feel like playing? How would you feel playing a different character in the Star Wars trilogy? Would you like to do that? Who would that be?
Yeah, I would quite like to. I'd love to. I'd love to play in another Star Wars movie. I would love to, whether it's Darth Vader or whether it's, you know, to make any difference what it was. I'd love to just to be involved again. It was lovely. Yeah.
Świetnie byłoby.
As far as any of the other characters in the movie, so I think I'd quite fancy Harrison Ford's part. I'd quite like that would have suited me. I could have done that. Yeah. Pardon? I was telling somebody a story earlier on today. I actually was. Do you know the English comedian Eddie Izzard? Eddie Izzard? Yeah, Eddie Izzard. I was in Chicago some time ago, and I couldn't sleep at night. I was awake about 3 o'clock in the morning, so I turned the TV on, and Eddie Izzard is on screen, and he's talking about he'd just done an appearance in New York, and he said I was talking about Star Wars, and I said that I asked the audience. He said, did you know that an Englishman called Keith Prowse did the part of Darth Vader? You see. And they said, all of a sudden, a girl jumps up in the audience and she shouts out, "No, it wasn't. It was Dave Prowse." You see, and it turned out to be Carrie Fisher. Carrie Fisher was in the audience. You see? And so anyway, that introduces me to another story, because I went to Las Vegas, and I went to see Debbie Reynolds in Las Vegas, who's obviously Carrie Fisher's mother, and she had her own theatre in Las Vegas, and she invited me to see her show. You see, so I sat in the audience, and she sort of flounces in all her finery, and stands at the front of the audience, and says something to the effect, you know, I've had a wonderful career in film world. I've worked with this actor and that actor, and I've done this film and I've done that film, and I've worked with this director and that director. I said, but she said, I'm now more famous because I am Princess Leia's mother. Okay? And I stood up and I went, and I'm Princess Leia's father.
Czyli odpowiadając na to oryginalne pytanie, przede wszystkim David Prowse chciałby w ogóle zagrać w jakimkolwiek nowym filmie z serii Star Wars, byłoby to bardzo fajne. Jeśli miałby wskazać jakąś postać, którą chciałby odegrać, no to z całą pewnością byłby to Harrison Ford, Han Solo. Natomiast odnośnie siły postaci samego właśnie Dartha Vadera są takie dwie anegdotki przytaczane. Jedna dotyczy komika Ediego Izzarda, który na scenie przejęzyczył się, prowadząc na żywo jeden ze swoich występów, przejęzyczył się i zamiast powiedział, że za sceny, że Dartha Vadera gra was it Keith Price.
Keith Price used to be a very, very big ticket agency in Great Britain. Huge. Very, very big. If you wanted any tickets for shows and theatres and things like this, you usually had to go through Keith Price to get them.
Co jest zasadniczo nazwą na jakąś agencję biletową, która operuje w Wielkiej Brytanii. A w każdym razie w pewnym momencie, właśnie w tym momencie gdzieś z publiczności pewna niewiasta wstała i zaczęła krzyczeć, że to nieprawda, nie Keith, tylko Dave. Okazało się, że to była Carrie Fisher, która akurat była wtedy w tym momencie na tym występie. Natomiast druga anegdota dotyczy Debbie Reynolds, czyli chodzi o matkę Carrie Fisher, która na jednym ze swoich występów właśnie przedstawiała się, opowiadała co nieco o swojej karierze, ale zawsze kończyła to słowy: no ale teraz jestem bardziej znana jako matka księżniczki Lei, na co obecny nas na sali David Prowse stał i krzyknął: a ja jestem znany jako jego ojciec. Jej ojciec.
Right, next question. Where are we? Where do you stand?
How hard it was, and how long did it took to put the whole costume on, the mask, the cap? How long did it took? And
you could get on very, very quickly. Once you got used to it, you could do it in 10 minutes.
And how hard it was to move in that costume?
Not very hard.
How long did it took to
Not very hard at all, because it was the costume was all made to measure. It wasn't as though I was wearing somebody else's costume. it was all made to measure to fit properly. And so I had no problems with it at all. The biggest problem was the helmet and the mask. The mask was, I always felt that originally it was made too big.
Could you see anything through the mask?
Yeah, you could see, but George kept on saying he didn't want to see anything of me. He didn't want to see my eyes, he didn't want to see my lips, he didn't want to see anything moving. So they put black balls over the mouthpieces. And then we started off with a sort of grey lens, and then it eventually went to an amber lens, and then it went to a dark amber lens, so that you couldn't see. And of course, by then I could hardly see where I was going. But other than that, the biggest problem was the helmet, the fixing to the helmet. And on the first film, it was fitted with Velcro. And what used to happen, as soon as I had any action to do, or the wind used to blow, the helmet used to wobble around everywhere. And so eventually they ended up with an male and female fits, sort of pumped on and twisted around. Yeah.
I think
that was the only problem we had masked with it that way.
With the wobbly helmet, I think you can actually see that at the end of Empire, when there's that dialogue, your monologue, and then it kind of shifts and wobbles. Yeah, you can see that. Pytanie dotyczyło generalnie komfortu tego, jak to jest, jak było poruszać się po prostu po planie w stroju Lorda Vadera. Generalnie nie było to aż tak strasznie złe, ponieważ wszystkie kostiumy były szyte na miarę, więc zasadniczo jakiś taki podstawowy komfort był. Natomiast najwięcej problemów sprawiał oczywiście hełm i maska, przez który ciężko było cokolwiek zobaczyć.
Right, I think we're going to do one last question, but before you do, I would imagine you're all probably wondering why I'm wandering around on a crutch, or why I'm hobbling around actually. After years and years and years of heavy weightlifting, I eventually developed arthritis in both hips. All right, want to take this?
I can't read it.
Oh, you can't? Oh. I got a medical complaint in my hips, arthritis.
Chodziło o to, żeby być może zastanawiacie się, dlaczego poruszam się cały czas o kulach, no więc chodzi o po prostu medyczne problemy z biodrami, które wystąpiły po tych latach po prostu ćwiczenia, podnoszenia ciężarów.
And I've had to have replacement hip jobs, then hips. So I have metal hips in both sides.
Czyli w tym momencie ma metalowe elementy po prostu w swoich stawach biodrowych.
Fortunately, about a year or so ago, I suddenly developed an infection from somewhere or other. I don't know where it came from, but eventually it lodged itself in an abscess on the side of my leg.
Wystąpił problem z infekcją stawu planowego tym razem.
And unfortunately, the infection won't heal. And I think they think I'm having a reaction from my own body to the metalwork in the joint.
Jest to prawdopodobnie reakcja organizmu na elementy metalowe, które są mieszane w ciele, i ta infekcja nie chce się leczyć, to jest zrozumieć.
So at the moment I have a great big hole about this big in the side of my leg, and it's being treated by the hospital, but unfortunately for me, it keeps leaking all the time, and I have a great big padding on my leg now, and it's a damn nuisance, you know. But I try not to let it stop me from doing anything. And I went to Turkey last week, and 3 times I had to be taken to the hospital in Turkey to get my leg seen to. But that's the reason I'm hobbling around on the crutches. Is I'm absolutely perfectly well in myself. I'm back at the gym training. I'm exercising regularly. But I just got this problem walking whilst I've got this thing on my leg.
Problem polega na tym, że w tym momencie w biodrze jest wielka wycięta dziura, która po prostu bardzo często dochodzi do jakiegoś wycieku, lewu, gdzie no po prostu, tak jak w zeszłym tygodniu, kiedy był w Turcji, 3 razy musiał odwiedzić szpital po prostu dlatego, aby mu to zaliczyli. Natomiast no właśnie to sprawia najwięcej problemów przede wszystkim przy chodzeniu, więc dlatego też porusza się okular.
Yes, because you said it should be the last one. So let me ask you a more general, more serious question, because every day we are getting older and older, and every person needs to sum up life up to date. So if you look back to your life as an actor and man, what was the most important for your experience, as we would like to communicate to the people like us.
Patrząc w tył na całą swoją karierę, jaki wniosek można z niej wyciągnąć i
jakie doświadczenie i taki
przekazać.
What would like to communicate? Looking back.
I say that basically two things. Never ever give up, right? And always be positive about have a positive attitude to everything that you do. That's the two important things in life. And also for everybody here is to have ambition. You must have ambition all the time. You must want to do things all the time, irrespective of whether you do it badly or whether you do it good. You've got to have ambitions to succeed. And as I said, if you have your ambition and you have this desire to get somewhere, I think I can't give you any better advice than that, really. I mean, it's what I've applied all my life, and you know, and that's basically I'm sort of reaping the rewards. You know, I know it's a bit late in life to be reaping the rewards, but it's like with this problem with my leg. You know, I'm very, very positive about it. I don't think, for instance, I'm going to ever have to, for instance, have my leg off or anything like this. You know, it's just one of these. It'll get better. I'll get over it. And, just be positive about it.
Czyli przede wszystkim nie poddajemy się, jesteśmy cały czas pozytywnie nastawieni do życia i też zachowujemy tą taką dozę ambicji, która pozwala nam osiągnąć rzeczy normalnie dla nas niedostępne i pozwala nam zwalczyć wiele trudności w życiu. Także to jest chyba główny przekaz.
And that concludes the Q&A for tonight. So thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Dziękuję serdecznie. Szanowni Państwo, jeszcze tylko jedna sprawa, prosimy. Excuse me, there is we have a gift for you, prepared for you by the Kolesha brothers, well-known model makers. This is for you. Their gift for you to so if you could please.